I'm here with Rainmaker, and Ray is not in the United States. He's actually in Paris right now. Is that correct?
Yep, no, I'm I guess 4 or 5 thousand miles from you. It's nice Friday afternoon here, but it's going great. We're loving Paris and just everything about it, and kind of the whole experience of being in a different country and enjoying it every single day.
So how did that all start? I think it has to do with your IT business that you're actually over there.
Yep, yeah, no, I got relocated for work back in the June time frame. I think it started actually. We started planning back in February or so. So it's been a pretty long process, and we're almost finally relocated. We're close, but not quite finished being relocated here from a logistical standpoint. But yeah, it's all to do with my day job, which is in IT. I design computer networks, primarily the data centers of large enterprises and IT organizations. So I do that from here in Paris. I was pretty much given the opportunity to choose anywhere within Africa, the Middle East, or Europe, and so I chose Paris, and I travel literally every week to somewhere else in the world. I think it's I just came back from Turkey yesterday, and next week I have nothing, but the week after that it's Kuwait, and then it's just on every week in January is booked with another continent.
Must be good for your freaking flyer miles.
It's been a busy year. Somebody asked me yesterday on Twitter how many miles, and I actually haven't added up yet. I think it's about 200,000 miles roughly I flew this year, so it's a bit.
Well, I'm sure it sounds much more exciting to people on the outside than it does for you.
Be some long nights.
Yeah. And how long are you going to stay in Paris before you're going to come back to the United States?
It's nice. We don't have a set time frame, so it could be 2 or 3 years. It could be 5 or 10 years. It's kind of up to us. So it's nice. We can kind of just take it as we go along and enjoy every day of it.
Excellent. That sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Going back to your blog and all the electronics fun you're having, what's going on? What's current right now? What are you working on?
Right now, it's kind of cruel. Right now, it's the holiday season, and I've got a bunch of scales to test, so weight scales. It seems like all these companies have released weight scales in the last month, so I've got a ton of different weight scales coming in right now, and then trainers as well. So a lot of companies have trainers out for the winter season. Some of them are a bit behind, though, in terms of the curve. Most people want the trainers back like in October, November, but I got a lot of trainers to get through. I just released a review today and have probably 2 reviews next week. And then power meters, that's the third one. There's a ton of new power meters coming up on the market over the next 3 to 6 months. So I've got ones that I'm been working on right now, and then ones that I'll continue in the January timeframe as well.
Let's go back to the scales. You said it's a cruel time to deal with scales. It's actually maybe a good time to deal with scales.
It might be, yeah, but it's tough. You sit there and you're looking at like all these holiday treats, and you're going, and I've got to step on a scale, and everyone on the internet's going to look at whatever number I put on that scale on the review. So it's a bit of a tough time.
No, but it's well. How do you know the scale is actually working if it doesn't move up or down?
Exactly. No, I got like a whole pile in back there. So I hope that they're all moving up or down in the right at the same time. So I actually did do some work last summer where I went into a kind of a lab setting and took a bod pod and some highly calibrated weight scales and brought a bunch of athletes in the DC area to there. And we actually went through and looked at the accuracy of the scales, and it was pretty interesting. In fact, we found that from a weight standpoint, pure weight, every single scale was spot on. From a $10 scale that I bought at Target up to a $400 or $500 Amp Plus Enable scale, everyone was perfect on weight. When it came to body fat, all completely useless.
Right. So it's how many are you going to review for this one? Like 5, 10?
Right now I've got 4 new scales that have come in the last month or so. I've got a new Withings scale that connects to Bluetooth phones. I've got a Fitbit scale that connects both to to Wi-Fi, and then a Wahoo scale and a Tanita scale. So I got a lot of new scales, but I'll focus on the 4 new ones for right now.
No, that makes sense. In terms of power meters, how are you going to handle all that? I mean, how many bikes do you have on the ready, or do you run multiple units at the same time on the bike?
I run multiple units. It's the best way to get comparison data between them all. So right now on the bike next to me, I've got a Power 2 Max on there. It's crankbait power meter. I've got a power tap in the hub. And then in January, I'll add on there the stage 1 power meter. And then I'll probably add on a pedal-based power meter as well in January to the mix. So up to 4 power meters at once, and I've kind of fine tune the art of collecting multiple power meter data at the same time. So I've been it's really the only way to get through as many products as I get through to do it all at once.
What about space? Do you have actually enough space in your apartment in Paris? European apartments are not known for to be spacious.
No, there's definitely not enough space. I People keep wanting to send me new trainers. I know the elite folks, for example, love to have a bunch of trainers reviewed, and they're definitely next on the list. But I fundamentally don't have any more space for trainers. I got them all piled up actually below and next to the Christmas tree right now, and I can't take any more trainers. So it's got to be one comes in, one goes out. It's the way it works.
Sounds like kids' toys. Like in order to get a new one, you have to get an old one out.
That's pretty much what my wife says as well.
Yeah. So how do you handle it with her share of stuff? Does she have a certain pile that she can put in, or does she not require as much space?
Her space is at the bakery, so luckily all of her baking stuff is over there, and obviously she has her bike stuff and whatnot here, but all of her stuff for baking and whatnot is over there. So I've been trying to find a space in that area, but there's nothing for me there. There's not enough space for her either.
What's the name of your wife's cupcake store?
It's Birdie's Cupcakery. So taking cakes and cupcakes and merging it together.
And how many a day do you get to eat?
I can eat as many as I want, but I probably average one.
No, I mean like not as in. Does she let you eat? How many do you let yourself have?
I probably do one or two. Usually one at the end of the day, and if I visit her for lunch, I'll have one as well.
Excellent. Let's go on to the testing. With so many different people approaching you, what to test, how do you actually decide what's actually doable or what you can actually manage?
It's funny. A lot of people ask, especially when it looks like apps, for example, and just even in general. I test things that are interesting to me. So if it's interesting to me, in most cases, it's probably interesting to everybody else. If I look at a device and it's just not going to be that great or that interesting, like you said, I've got so many devices to test. I'm going to focus on the cool stuff because I think that's most interesting to everybody else. It takes a lot of time to write a review, especially the writing part. So I'd rather do something that it's going to be enjoyable to everybody else.
That makes sense. What are you going to do for the holidays?
We're going to go to Strasbourg in France here. It's not too far away by train, a couple hours, and just enjoy, I think, 2 days of quiet peacefulness, and then we'll come back. But otherwise, I'll be working as normal.
But can you actually, considering that your day job has to do with the internet and your night job has to do with the internet, can you actually stay away for a couple of days?
We'll try. We'll see. I'm even tempted not to bring my laptop. We'll see if we can do that for 2 days or not.
Well, that's cheating to some degree anyway, because you can do it on your phone or on your iPad or whatever else you have in your hands, right?
I try.
Well, let's do this. Wish you a wonderful time in Paris, and happy holidays, and hopefully we get to talk again sometime soon.
No, absolutely. Thanks a lot, and have a good holidays.
Thanks.